That's fucking right, mate. That's fucking right, mate. It's fucking CHEWSDAY, isn't it? Yes, some would say it's fucking CHEWSDAY. That's right, mate. It's fucking 1985. CHEWSDAY, isn't it, mate? Let's fucking go, mate. That's right. We're gonna bring you all the fucking news from Palcetti today. We got a live feed. We got a live feed from Palcetti. Coming in. Maybe Keith will show up. You never know. One thing you know though. One thing you do know though. That I will show up. That's right. Right, Chad. Right now. Show up. It's fine though. Just want to get started. Yeah. It's fucking CHEWSDAY, mate. That's right, mate. We fucking made it to the weekend. Not yet. It's only CHEWSDAY. Alright, I said that enough. I'm kidding. Like I said, we might have a visit. We got a little bit of news from the TCCN. We got a little normal news. A little more news here, a little more news there. You know how it goes. The funny thing is I'm the only news hound in my family. Sad day. Sad to be that
talks
one
in
person
Pakistan
in
after the White
Trust
House
me.
said Vice President J.D. Vance is preparing to depart for Islamabad.
He's not going anywhere.
Welcome
It's
to
a lie.
Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman in San Francisco. There's uncertainty over whether the U.S. and Iran will hold another round of talks in Pakistan after the White House said Vice President J.D. Vance is preparing to depart for Islamabad today, even as Iran refused to confirm it'll participate. A spokesperson for Iran's foreign ministry accused the U.S. of violating the 10-day ceasefire. He cited the U.S. Navy's seizure of an Iranian cargo ship Sunday while calling for the release of its sailors and vowing to retaliate. Meanwhile, President Trump's warned he's highly unlikely to extend the 10-day ceasefire with Iran beyond its expiration on Wednesday evening, and said the U.S. will likely resume bombing immediately if Iran refuses a deal. On Capitol Hill, dozens of military veterans and their family members were arrested Monday as they nonviolently occupied the Cannon House office building to protest the U.S. and Israeli war on Iran while demanding a meeting with House Speaker Mike Johnson. At least 62 people were arrested, including elderly and disabled activists. Those protests continued. The protests were organized by a coalition that included About Face, Veterans for Peace, Common Defense, and military families speak out. This is Christina Sarson, a U.S. Army veteran from Pennsylvania.
I personally am here for my sons. As a veteran, I know the harm that wars do. to civilian populations, but also to our soldiers. I'm talking about the loss of life. I'm talking about injuries and lives changed forever. I'm talking about PTSD and moral injury, and that's why I'm here today.
The State Department says it'll host a second round of talks between Lebanon and Israel in Washington, D.C. on Thursday, the first negotiation since a tenuous ceasefire went into effect last week. The announcement came as people across Lebanon held funerals Monday for loved ones whose bodies were retrieved from the rubble of buildings left flattened by Israeli strikes. Entire relatives prayed by the temporary graves of 80-year-old Hussein Dabouk and his 32-year-old son, Rabi, who were killed in the hours before the ceasefire took effect last Friday morning.
This family, why is it their fault? Is it because they didn't leave Tyre?
God
Is this
damn,
our fault
chat.
that we stayed? We don't want to leave our land. Our land is our honor and our dignity.
That's terrible.
What did these people do wrong for Israel to come and bomb them? You, Israel, who were supposed to do a ceasefire, committed a crime before it could take effect.
Lebanon's health ministry says Israeli attacks in March and April killed over 2,300 people, leaving over 6,700 injured and 1.2 million people displaced from their homes. In Gaza, Israeli strikes have killed at least 5 Palestinians in separate incidents. An Israeli airstrike killed at least 3 people in western Khan Yunis, according to health officials at Nasser Hospital. Israeli attacks have killed more than 750 Palestinians since last year's so-called ceasefire deal took effect. It comes as Israel's officially reestablished the Sinur settlement in the occupied West Bank, more than 20 years after it was dismantled.
I'll never forgive the
Elsewhere,
Israelis for
a Palestinian boy was killed earlier today after being struck by a vehicle in the security convoy of an Israeli minister in the occupied West Bank. 16-year-old Mohammed Majdi al-Jabir was riding his bicycle to school when he was run over. Haaretz reports the convoy was en route to secure Israeli settlement minister Orit Strok, who lives in an illegal Israeli settlement in Hebron.
Of course.
Meanwhile, a joint report by the EU, UN, and the World Bank reveals $71.4 billion will be needed over the next decade for Gaza's recovery and reconstruction.
Oh, no.
The report also warns human development across the Gaza Strip has been set back by 77 years.
Look at that. All of that concrete has to be removed. It is poison. Like breathing the dust. Not good. Not good for you. At all. I'm sorry.
Amnesty International has released its annual Global Human Rights Report describing the leaders of Israel, Russia, and the United States as, quote, voracious predators, unquote, intent on economic and political domination. The report documents the U.S.-Israeli war in Iran, which has killed more than 3,000 people, Israeli attacks in Lebanon, which have killed nearly 2,400, and the death toll in Gaza, which has surpassed 72,500 since October 2023.
I got YouTube
The report also
on my
points to signs of resistance, including the growing number of states joining South Africa's genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice. This is Amnesty Secretary General Agnès Callamard.
It started with unlawful U.S. and Israeli attack in violation of the UN Charter. No self-defense can be invoked here.
Yeah, right.
It morphed into open warfare against
civilians. You have a right to self-defense preemptively.
Indiscriminate, disproportionate retaliatory strikes. Israel escalating its attacks on Lebanon. The conflict is endangering the lives and health of millions of people across the region.
The report comes as Hungary's newly elected prime minister, Péter Magyar, declared his government would be legally obligated to detain Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu if he enters Hungarian territory while still subject to an International Criminal Court arrest warrant. Speaking to reporters, Magyar said, quote, "If a country is a member of the ICC and a person who's wanted by the ICC enters our territory, then that person must be taken into custody," unquote. Japan's relaxed decades of restrictions on the sale of weapons and ammunition, clearing the way for arms exports to more than a dozen countries. Today's announcement by the Japanese Prime Minister is a further shift away from Japan's pacifist post-war constitution, created by the U.S. as it occupied Japan 8 decades ago. China said in response it's seriously concerned about Japan's, quote, reckless militarization.
They're right-wing as fuck, dude.
Cuba's government's confirmed it recently hosted U.S. officials on the island, marking the first time senior American diplomats have visited the island nation since 2016. Cuban Deputy Foreign Minister Alejandro Garcia del Toro said lifting the U.S. oil blockade is a top priority, calling it, quote, an unjustified punishment of the entire Cuban population. The talks come as President Trump's repeatedly floated the use of military force against Cuba, saying his attention could turn to the island after the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran. Last week, Trump said, quote, "We may stop by Cuba after we finish with this," quote. Meanwhile, the leaders of Mexico, Brazil, and Spain meeting in Barcelona as part of a gathering of progressive heads of state issued a joint statement pledging increased humanitarian aid to Cuba and calling for its sovereignty to be respected.
How?
Deaths in ICE custody have reached a record high this fiscal year, with at least 17 immigrants
on our way back from Iran. We're going to stop by Cuba and take it too. The most recent case is of 27-year-old Ala Damien Carbonell Betancourt, an immigrant from Cuba, found unresponsive last week while jailed in Miami. He reportedly died of a presumed suicide, but the cause is still under investigation. We'll have more on this story after headlines. The Justice Department's demanded officials in Wayne County, Michigan, turn over more than 860,000 ballots, along with envelopes and receipts from the 2024 general election. Trump defeated Kamala Harris to win Michigan's 15 electoral votes, but he lost in Wayne County, which is home to Detroit, by nearly 250,000 votes. The DOJ's threats come weeks after the FBI subpoenaed election records in Arizona's Maricopa County and raided an elections hub in Fulton County, Georgia, seizing thousands of ballots. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel called the request absurd and baseless. She wrote, quote, "Once again, President Trump's weaponizing the Justice Department in an attempt to sabotage our democratic process and turn it into his own personal agency to interfere in state elections." Meanwhile, FBI Director Kash Patel told Fox News arrests over the 2020 election are coming as soon as this week. In related news, Kash Patel has filed a $250 million defamation lawsuit against The Atlantic magazine and journalist Sarah Fitzpatrick after she reported Patel has alarmed FBI colleagues with episodes of excessive drinking, erratic behavior, and unexplained absences. The report cited more than 24 people, including current and former FBI officials, members of Congress, lobbyists, former advisors, and others. Several officials said morning meetings at the FBI were rescheduled until the afternoon because Patel was incapacitated following nights of heavy drinking. Kash Patel's security detail reportedly struggled to wake him on multiple occasions last year, and in at least one instance requested breaching equipment normally used by SWAT teams to enter buildings. Meanwhile, U.S. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez de Remer resigned on Monday amidst a series of reports that she abused her position. She's accused of using public funds for personal travel, bringing subordinates to a strip club, drinking on the job in government offices, and having a romantic affair with... Hello, Russian. Grishka. What questions do you have, sir?
their bodyguard. This comes after Chavez de Remer's husband, Sean de Remer, was barred from the Labor Department's headquarters after at least 2 female staff members reported he sexually assaulted them. Lori Chavez de Remer is the 3rd member of Trump's cabinet to be forced out in the last 7 weeks, all of them women, following the departure of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and Attorney General Pam Bondi. Wired magazines revealed new details about how facial recognition technology has been used to closely monitor sports fans at the iconic Madison Square Garden in New York. Over a 2-year period, security staff for New York Knicks owner James Dolan used the surveillance system to track the movements of a trans woman, in part to prevent her image from being seen on TV.
What?
An 18-page dossier obtained by Wired shows the system tracked all of her movements, including when she entered and exited the bathroom. Dolan also used the facial recognition.
When the fuck? Because it's going to happen. And I'm not wishing for it to happen. When Putin does move on from being in power, what do you think Russia's going to look like if you were to relate it to one other country that exists right now? The government. Not what you wish, but what you think it's going to be. Please tell me. I want to know. That's my question. Hell no, I fucked up. Big time. Yeah. Okay, we just... Anyway.
System to ban hundreds of people from the venue.
Best I can do.
Including a group of lawyers involved in disputes with him. Photos of the lawyers were fed into the facial recognition software to prevent them from entering Madison Square Garden. Hundreds of delegates are arriving at the United Nations this week for the world's largest gathering of indigenous peoples, the UN Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues. This year's forum centers on the survival of indigenous peoples in the context of armed conflict. Advocates also warn that the artificial intelligence boom is driving a new era of digital extractivism, with tech companies scraping indigenous medicinal knowledge, traditional stories, and genetic.
Like, do you think it's going to be more fascist or more communist?
Data without
Good
consent,
kind.
while massive data centers threaten tribal lands and water resources. The Trump administration's also made it increasingly difficult for delegates from the Global South to obtain U.S. visas to attend the UN Forum. And the Goldman Environmental Prize, widely known as the Green Nobel, has announced its 2026 recipients. For the first time since the prize was established in 1989, all 6 winners were women. They are Iroro Tanchi of Nigeria, Borin Kim of South Korea, Sarah Finch of the United Kingdom, Theonila Roca Matpab of Papua New Guinea, and Yuvelis Morales Blanco of Colombia, and Alana Akak Hurley of the United States. Hurley is the executive director for the United Tribes of Bristol Bay. She led a successful campaign against the Pebble Mine, a proposed gold and copper mine that would have required construction of a massive power plant, natural gas pipeline, and huge toxic tailing ponds.
This award honors all of us, those who stood against all odds, those who never wavered in speaking up against greed and destruction.
Yeah.
It honors those who have shown up year after year, writing letters, testifying at hearings, protesting, and raising their kids to value people over profit.
And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman in San Francisco with Democracy Now!'s Juan Gonzalez in Chicago. Hi, Juan.
Hi, Amy, and welcome to all of our listeners and viewers across the country and around the world.
Thanks for watching Democracy Now! On YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to make sure you never miss a video. And for more of our audience-supported journalism, go to democracynow.org, where you can download our news app, sign up for our news.
Like, Chad, I see America becoming more fascistic unless we get Trump out and become very leftist. You know? The fuck? Like, it's just gonna happen, bro. You know? Seriously, though, cool to have you on from Russia.
I get it. I get it. All right.
You can call me the smallest leftist streamer on Twitch if you put me in your thesis. What the fuck? Oh. My girl's back there. She's not supposed to be on. Oh, she's working. As she should. Alright, that sucks.
Okay. I get it. I'm hot.
No, you're not.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Big news. Stormy Daniels
You're a loser.
is now on her stand-up comedy tour. Yeah. Audience say they didn't recognize her standing up. Now, I don't want to say that she's put on a few pounds, but guess who recently offered her a job? But good for her, I say. It'll be her biggest credit since once opening for Trump. So far, 11 of America's smartest scientists have suddenly died or vanished. No wonder Mika keeps telling everyone that Joe's a brilliant scientist. A robot beat the human record by several minutes in a half marathon. Dejected Kenyans said, well, we're still the birthplace of Barack Obama.
What the fuck? I fixed it.
Kim
What?
Kardashian is dating Formula One driver Lewis.
Why the fuck would you make a racist joke? Why do you gotta drag the whole Kenyans in? The whole of them. The whole of the state of Kenya.
Hamilton. Hamilton admitted he's not
Jealous?
interested in Kim, but it was
He's
just his turn.
He's jealous.
The good news is she can use his pit crew when it's time to change her ass. Barack Obama and Zohran Mamdani visited a classroom of preschoolers to sing The Wheels on the Bus. And when Michelle showed up, one kid said, is it time for Drag Queen Story Hour?
These are 2028 jokes.
But this is nice. When they were done, Mayor Mamdani read from his new children's book, Horton Here's a Jew. Lesbian power couple, aren't they all? Megan Rapinoe, soccer star, and basketball legend Sue Bird have split up.
Oh, no.
No word on who gets custody of the Craftsman wrench set. In New York, which is where you are right now, a serial killer exhibit recreates the crimes of Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, and the BTK killer. And get this, they also have a ladies' night. And finally, the New York Mets have lost their 11th.
You got a thesis for me. Yeah. No, I think you answered it. Thank you. Because like, if they look up to China, I think that's good. If they look up to China, that's good to me, because I look up to China too. And I think America should look up to China and adapt their model that works. Communism mixed with capitalism, or whatever the fuck they call it. Round 2 for Russia.
Straight game.
Like, I think that's how Russia should go too. I mean, they should hang all the oligarchs, like we should as well, in a video game.
I know. Now when New Yorkers scream, what a bunch of overpaid losers, they aren't talking about Fox and Friends. They're not watching. They're just getting up.
You can clip me too, you know.
So tonight, how about a quick check-in with some old pals?
Keeping up with the douches.
The douches?
Life after Trump.
So here's Stormy Daniels spotted outside an Atlanta theater before her live storytelling and comedy show. Because nothing says comedy like a 300-pound woman claiming she used to be a porn star. Now people pay to not see her have sex. True, she went from XXX to XXXL, from hush money to hush puppies. But at least now she can have group sex by herself. Also spotted her cohort, Michael Avenatti, serving an 11-year sentence for extortion, tax fraud, and stealing $300 grand from Daniels herself. This month, he was moved from a federal prison to a halfway house in L.A. Yeah, the man Brian Stelter thought could be president appears to be mopping the sidewalk. Ironic that a dude who has made a mess of his own life is now cleaning up others. Meanwhile, what was Trump up to last Friday? Probably telling us that this has been by far the most successful first year of any administration in the history of our country.
This has been by far the most successful first year. of any administration in the history of our country. To begin with, I ended 8 wars, 0 illegal aliens coming into our country.
No. Lies. All we get is these lies from these guys now. You're against communism in the form that it was in the before. But I suggest adopting the model of China.
In the past 11 months, the murder rate reached the lowest level in over 125 years. Deadly fentanyl pouring across our border is down by an astounding 59%. Illegal drugs coming in by ocean or sea are down by 97%. We banned the transgender mutilization of our children. We got men out of women's sports. And we got critical race theory out of our schools. And we abolished DEI across the entire federal government.
Now, that's not a bad list, I'd say, right? Way better than Lincoln.
Yeah, also the capitalist model that we live, the neoliberal capitalist model we live under in America, is just a slower death, similar to communism, the old style communism. Yeah, I disagree. I feel like it works here and it would work in Russia too. With, obviously Russia ideas involved. It wouldn't be the exact same thing. I would just hope that Russia would want that rather than more oligarchy and not understand. That's just fascism. Like we have in America right now. It's no different.
First year, he started the Civil War. Nice going, idiot.
There's no argument you can make me that's going to tell me that any form of government that Russia or America, or both America or Russia practice, is beneficial to you or me. You being the university student, me being the old guy in America. None of it benefits us whatsoever. None of it benefits us. We don't get a benefit from it. Yeah, I understand how the Russian oligarchic system works mostly. Obviously, I'm sure you understand it more than I'm not saying I don't, or I understand it more than you, but it's not good is what I know. I don't think it's good. So more of that is not good. You're doing fine. You're doing fine understanding what I'm saying, by the way.
So why is Trump looking great and his adversaries look terrible? Have you noticed? Everyone who went after Trump looks worse for...
I'm not against state-owned companies, but they can't be corrupt. Are those state-owned companies corrupt? Are they all owned by Putin and his cronies? That's the problem. State-owned isn't the problem if state-owned is run by the people, right?
Where? From Rosie to Springs.
So therein where lies our issue, because I sound communistic and you're like, oh shit. Well, no leftists right now are advocating for communism the old way. That's bullshit. The world isn't like it was. We can do socialist, communist, leftism, whatever that looks like, in a different way, with the roots being the same, which is to not have a class, to be classless. That's the goal. No, I think industries like electricity, gas, need to be controlled by the state, but with democratic input. You know what I mean? Not controlled by the people in power.
To this
not for profit, strictly for the service of the people. Right? Industry can exist. Communism doesn't mean modern communism, modern socialism, modern leftism doesn't mean no industry. Doesn't mean you don't make money. Doesn't mean can't be millionaire. It means can't be billionaire. Yeah, it does mean that. It does mean you can't be a billionaire, I think. There's new rules, and you can't be a billionaire and still live in a, any kind of communist utopia right now. You know what I mean? No, I can't do that, bro. Sorry.
Thing currently being spotted inhabiting the body of Kathy Griffin. Now, we are not dunking on them. It's not really their fault. They just took the bait like Joy Behar robbing a cooler of chum. We only bring them up as a reminder of how badly the media got it wrong and still gets it wrong. We're dunking on those who egged these dopes down this path of destruction. And remember how they ate up Avenatti?
Lucky tonight. We're back with attorney Michael Avenatti. He is a main player.
To me, you're like the Holy Spirit. You are all places at all times. He's out there saving the country.
Look, I think you're doing a hell of a job. I don't think you're in this for money.
He's a rock star, I think. It'll be interesting to see his next chapter.
Absolutely.
Looking ahead to 2020, one reason why I'm taking you seriously as a contender is because of your presence on cable news.
That is literally the...
Any other questions? Good question, friend. Let's see.
Dumbest thing anyone at CNN has said after let's give Jeffrey Toobin a laptop. Look it up. Or don't. So why?
Do Russians still feel like they want to be Americans?
Why did they get it wrong?
And thanks for the time, by the way.
Well, they're stupid, but their shared filter sucked.
Yes.
Which was always Trump is Hitler. It dictated that
I know Wagner Group. Yes.
Every accusation from sleazy lawyers to porn stars was gospel truth. This filter allowed for an endless number of hoaxes from the...
America has many Wagner groups that we send all over. Private military. America, we love private military. Just like Russia.
P-tape to the Five People hoax, to Trump beating up a Secret Service agent from the backseat of a car. And even though the lies would...
Look, there's a reason Trump and Putin get along, quote unquote, because, like I said, we have a lot in common when it comes down to that shit. Fighting against the U.S., No, because the U.S. wants destabilization, and they support that. the U.S. may go, it's not good, the Wagner Group, blah, blah, blah. But underneath, the U.S., they like it very much. Destabilizing Africa is in their advantage because they want to sit on their laurels and not have China take over Africa. So I don't think she's fighting against the U.S. I think it's actually the opposite. I think she's fighting because that's what I'm saying. Like, America thrives on destabilization.
Explode in their faces. They kept on going.
Having the Wagner Group in Africa is not a stabilizing force.
Because they were rewarded for it. Meanwhile, others could see through this BS. That was us. And we would be proven right again about each one. Just wait, we would say to ourselves, knowing the next media fabrication would implode. And over time, they would. Our filter worked, theirs didn't, and yet they still cling to it. And so the Stormy Avenatti thing leads us to Swalwell, also egged on as a Trump killer. He relished the role, the spotlight, the attention, and then his past deeds poured out like a drink he'd give to a staffer. Swalwell
was boring.
According to reports, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard is now consolidating power inside of Iran. In other words, the hardline radicals who have terrorized the world for decades are likely running the show. The guys with guns, not the guys in the suits that'll be in Pakistan. Here with more. Fox News strategic analyst, our friend General Jack Keane is with us. General,
it's
great
Mr.
to have
Keane.
you. If we were to be very blunt and very, very honest, General, the easier path for the president would be to wipe them out, obliterate them, hit all those targets. But the reality is the president really deep down does not want to do that to the Iranian people. I applaud him for that. And he's going the extra mile. However, when there's a report out tonight, the Iranian parliamentary speaker saying that they have new cards to play against the U.S., you have Iran's new IRGC chief, one of the hardliners from days gone by, now in charge of the guns. I'm less optimistic than I was over the weekend.
Yeah, sure. Well, you have cause to be, Sean, to be frank. I think what we're witnessing right before our eyes is a power struggle inside of Iran. And yes, Galibaf, while he was a general in the IRGC at one point, right along with Vahidi, who is now the head general in the IRGC, Galibaf does represent the political side of it because he's the head speaker in the parliament. And I think they are really at odds. We have talked to Galibaf in the past, and so we know for a fact that he is willing to make some compromises on the deal. In other words, some concessions to the United States. It's likely, we don't know for a fact, but Vahidi disagrees with all of that. And this power struggle is going on, and what will be the resolution of it? There's a couple of paths here. One, take President Trump serious, that if you don't come to the negotiating table and the ceasefire ends, by the way, it's Wednesday, not Tuesday it ends, and if it ends on Wednesday and he promises to go back to full combat operations. But so our audience understands, we have twice the capability on the U.S. side in the theater now than when we had when we started the war. Okay. We have never given up bringing in additional assets to assist with the execution.
We still don't have enough for a ground invasion. I'm sorry, Mr. Warmonger, sir. This is a warmonger, by the way, chat.
Of our wartime objectives. The Israelis, who had some ammunition shortages, have full magazine depth now. So if we go back to combat operations, they are going to be absolutely full throttle and considerably more dramatic than anything the Iranians have experienced, to include all.
Okay, bro. I got you.
Hey, I can get the best voice from it.
What? Huh? Gimme! What the fuck? How dare you cuck me? Here we go. Here we go. My favorite. Stop, chat. Wake up, chat. Wake up. It's time to wake up.
Я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотикал, наркотик не класс. Я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотикал, наркотик не класс. Я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотикал, наркотик не класс. Я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотикал. Вы слушаете школу танцев Хардбаса. Наркотик не класс, я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотик брал, наркотик не класс, я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотик брал, наркотик не класс, я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотик брал, наркотик не класс, я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотик брал.
They're fucking insane, dude. They must have calves the size of my fucking dick.
Я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотикал, наркотик не класс. Я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотикал, наркотик не класс. Я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотикал, наркотик не класс. Я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотикал, наркотик не класс. Я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотикал, наркотик не класс. Я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотикал, наркотик не класс. Я еду на Харбас, если ты не знал. Наркотикал.
Actually, I do, yes. I'm a DJ. I've heard it all, bro. See, yes. Hotness. I played that for you, bro. If you got a better one, send it to me. I know you do.
The targets the president's talking
I know you got a better one.
about, and then some. But Vahidi, listen, hardliners here.
What he's saying here is, I'm going to go to the bathroom after this interview and bust a big fat nut because I love to bomb children and kill them. Exactly what he's saying. Ignore everything else that comes out of this guy's mouth because he's basically doing that. He has gotten paid moolah, mucho dinero for coming on Fox News in the last 50 days to report on how gleeful he is that we're going to bomb children in Iran. Not directly, no. In fact, my knowledge of Russian music is limited. But I always see the viral shots like that where there's hard bass or hard bass parties, and you know, I would be there fucking hard bassing with you. I got the suit and everything, bro.
Vahidi has a couple of choices here.
I'm practically fucking Russian
okay,
without
work
being
it out
Russian.
with Galibov, and let's not test the president.
No, I
let's
need
go to the
recommendations.
negotiations, but put some strict controls on Galibov in those negotiations. Or, and they're capable of this, Sean, test the president and
I mainly play hard dubstep or hard drum and bass.
accept going back to combat operations because in the end, where they are, they believe that the president will not go completely to the end of it. The pressure on him politically and economically will force him to end it prematurely, and they'll still be standing, and they'll have leverage as a result of it. And no negotiations taking place at all is what he is possibly thinking. And I'm trying to put my head inside a bona fide hardliner who was the guy that was in charge of the Quds Force, and guess who he gave that job over to? Qasem Soleimani. So this is the ilk of what we're dealing with here. I just wanted our viewers to understand some of the thought processes that may be going on here, and even the extreme that I'm mentioning. And
all right, chatter, I'll listen.
Let's don't talk about my soul. I just really wanna walk away. My happiness is stole. Can anybody show me where the place where I belong? Only fools I never heard the truth, and deep inside I know that I'm not an empty book. Every time I got the future, I'm gonna feel so low. Every time I got the rainbow, I deserve it just for. Every time I reach the себя береги, сила накопили вроде бы, но скисли. Там она весла, злой, причудливая дума, негодяйка путала мысли. Том накатали за любовь актрисы, мне говорят, стерегут под пиццей. Свои досуги, но суки обманывают, ущипни меня быстро. Иное время несет меня вдаль. Моя подруга забыла печали, на ком с перепугу мы ставили все и провали этот злой календарь. Ковырял судьбу, рисковал, побивал, да покуривал и миры не знал. Убивая себя яблоками разура, я дарил этот кач головам. Надеюсь, I'm losing the focus, I'm so...
That's very, very poppy. I bet you that's very popular in, like, the clubs.
Why wouldn't they accept what's plausible and also reasonable?
I would mix that with some Dua Lipa. It sounds like the same producer.
Well, because this is the Iranians.
Like, I think that same sound is on a Dua Lipa album.
We got long time history with how unreasonable they absolutely are, and they don't care about their people. They care about what? Personal survival, the regime survival.
Bro, they're not going anywhere. They have been in those mountains longer than America, or even half of fucking, like, before we conquered America, before the Indians were even really established. Those Iranian Persians were living in those mountains 7,000 years ago, apparently. There's no one disputing that fact. Do you think that they exist there by chance? Oh, everyone's just left the Iranians alone throughout history. No one's ever attacked them. This is the delusional white supremacy bullshit that they like to spout at you so that you're complacent. We have no chance of taking out Iran without a nuclear weapon, okay?
I mean, that is it. And they don't care about what's best for their people. And if we're going to pound Iran, and we would, to seriously force an economic collapse, that's what would be on the horizon.
Yeah, I could mix some of that, mix it into some Dua Lipa, and then straight into some hard bass, right? And everyone would be sweaty. That's what I'd do.
Horizon, it'd be less about their weapons and more about their future, for sure, here in terms of their viability economically. In Vahid's mind, if he survives that, he wins. Now, that is diabolical thinking for sure, but that is...
Anytime a military guy is using the word diabolical, you know we got the Trump card. You know they've been trumped. You know it. Dude, diabolical is a word. Diabolical is a word that military guys use when they're like talking about magic, things that happen that shouldn't happen. That was diabolical. Huh. You know, He was a diabolical driver. That's right.
Is part of the rationale we.
Or some would say he was diabolical. Others would say he wasn't. No one knew. But me, I knew he was diabolical. I invented that word. Did I tell you? I invented the word diabolical when I started firing people. That's right. I invented it. Believe me.
We have been dealing with these people for a long time, Sean.
After 14 bunker buster bombs, that war ended in 12 days. That was phase one, Midnight Hammer.
Midnight Hammer, 14 bunker buster bombs all on one spot. And they immediately rebuilt in 14 days. Like, there's no way. There's no maths that add up to that actually happening. You know what I mean? Like, we either used 14 bombs and did nothing, and they continued while they rearranged some shelves, right? Or we bunker busted those bitches and took it out, and they were done for. And what? They rebuilt somewhere else? What? Those two things can't happen at the same time. I mean, I want my cake and eat it too. That's right.
I'm trying to understand, after all that President Trump has done here and all the damage he has inflicted upon them, how they could doubt in any way, shape, manner, or form his resolve to do it the hard way if he has to. And
they aren't doubting his resolve. They're outmaneuvering his stupidity. He's a dumbass. He has nothing but I'm insane. That's his tactic. Insane leader coming at you. You can't figure out which way I'm going to jig or jag. Left or right, who knows? I could go down. I could come up. I could shit. I could piss. Never know. You do know, though, that I'll be on the plane.
I want your reaction to
yapping. Talking about my Medal of Honor that I gave myself because I'm so self-important.
that. And what about this warning about we have new cards to play? I take that as typical quintessential propaganda and bluster. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, we know our president, and you would think the Iranians by now would know him as well. He has a tendency to follow through here, and that's the reality of it.
Besides, China's going to help Iran, and so is Russia, and I'm fine with that. There's no world that exists where Iran deserves, for anything they've ever done, for America to take them over and stop them from having a nuclear weapon. They are a sovereign country. In fact, they have more incentive now to have a nuclear weapon than they ever did in my lifetime. Okay? I've heard this story 30 times now, that they're 10 days away, they're 2 days away, they're 1 day away, they're 4 days away, they're 1 day away from a nuclear bomb that will obliterate England, that will obliterate, someday will obliterate Washington, D.C. It's like, okay, sure, dude. Okay, Netanyahu. Sure, dude.
So he's promising something that be much more significant and dramatic impact on them than what we have been doing to date. And I think he will absolutely deliver on that. He's also making a point, and certainly we understand this, that in our negotiations, while he's willing to talk, he's not going to put up with a bad deal. That is a fact, because he understands and knows what a bad deal looked like. He walked away from one, as we all know, in 2018, 3 years into Obama's bad deal. So are they making assessments of the president? Of course they are. But they also, I think, where Vahedi's coming from, he believes there's significant pressure on the president. And it may be worth his while to try to accept whatever the president wants to give him. I think that is absolutely reckless thinking, and he's not.
Oh, here's one I like. I remember this. Here's a track I like that's Russian. My favorite.
All rise for hard bath.
Never fear. It's actually, it's not Russian. Right?
Ready, let's go. Slice, squats and chicken-breaky. Cold compot with чебуреки. Always moving, never done. Such is life, it's lost around. Take my ladder, dragon down. Fingers up and windows down. Hot pull menu and some kvass. Try veranda and pop hard bath.
Tata? What is he driving? Is this a Tata? I don't know this guy. Wait, hold on. We can see it right there. What is that? What does it say? I can't read it. Vladisling. Huh? Can't read it? What kind of car is that? I want to know. Rishka, level 5. Welcome to the stream, chatter. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck at university, brother. Sister, NB. Squats and toes, breaker bones. That's right. Shalom, King.
I need no better way to get the western spice away. Big and fearless like a bear. Tracksuit with the stripes I wear. From Krakow to Kamchatka.
I know this is Perry, but I think it's fun. I actually want to make the American version of this. What is that? Is that plaster paste? Is he eating plaster paste? Is that a thing? What am I missing? What is that? Sour cream? What is it? Wait. Is that actually, is that like whipped cream? What is it? What is it? Tell me, chat. Help me. Oh, my Russian. Well, looks like I lost my friend.
Not being rational, but I'm just trying to paint a picture here.
Be that way, chatter.
What can be going on? Hopefully, the best answer for the Iranians would be is whatever this debate is about, resolve it and get some negotiators in to sit down at the table with our negotiators.
One more Russian track while I'm at it. Just to update. Just to... This is more my type of music, chatter. Russian music. It's probably not even Russian. Caucasus? I mean, it's part of Russia, right? Go shoot. I'm not gonna ask what he just mixed up, but didn't look good. Typical Russian broth. Am I right? That's right, bruv. Boom. Hell yeah. Oh, that's his juice, right? Whatever it is. Hell yeah. Get that juice on, baby. Let's go. He's getting juiced up. He's ready. Okay. Gotta turn on the bass.
Опа, пидорас, рушит город мой хардбас. Пиво, семки и на бас, весь район боится нас.
This is hilarious to me. I love it. And like the juxtaposition of the really cheap cars, the, you know, the flats or whatever they call them behind them where they live that are like leftover USSR, you know, Soviet Union stuff, like flats or whatever. It's, I don't know. Funny and cool, but of course they all dress like me. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? They all dress like me. Because this would literally be me if I lived there. That's right, chat. What is that, a Mitsubishi that they're driving?
Опа, пидорас, рушит город мой хардбас. Пиво, семки и на бас, весь район боится нас.
Пока, пидорас. Trying to open his beer with a rock. What the fuck? That shot. That's so bleak. Like, you just know there's nothing going on. Anyway. Brilliant. Brilliant filming. Love it.
And see if something can be worked out here. And certainly the United States has huge leverage here. The fact we can't dismiss the major leverage we have. In the first negotiations, we had the threat of going back to combat operations for sure. In the second negotiations, which we're about to take, the number one leverage we have is we have shut down all of Iranian exports, oil and everything else they export. And the reality of that is that's 80% of their revenue. That is huge leverage in of itself. The second piece of leverage we have, Sean, is what I mentioned. Full throttle combat operations. So we are going into these negotiations holding a lot of cards in our hands, and actually a stronger hand than we had in the last negotiations. President Trump knows that. Our negotiators know that. Galibov certainly understands that. I think Vahidi probably understands it as well, the head of the IRGC. It remains to be seen what his reaction is going to be to all of this. I think we'll know within 12 to 20 hours for sure.
One thing I would love to see, the Israelis, somehow arms get in the hands of the people. Haiti and others I don't think would survive. 180% inflation rate. Their currency is now worthless, on top of the fact that they have half their workforce not working. This will be devastating. Hopefully the Iranian people will then wake up. That becomes their moment of truth, too. General, as always, we appreciate you being with us. We appreciate your insights, sir. Thank you. All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new podcast, Hanging Out with me, Sean Hannity. The big interviews, the debates you won't get anywhere else. Like and subscribe for new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.
Was espousing himself. You know, don't engage in foreign wars, particularly in the Middle East. Full transparency on the Epstein files, et cetera, et cetera. It's hard to see why.
Literally Trump at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So this was today, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Oh, wait. Oh, this must have been an hour ago, PST. Iran doesn't want the Strait of Hormuz closed. They want it open so they can make $500 million a day, which is therefore what they're losing if it is closed. They only say they want it closed because I have it totally blockaded. Closed. So they merely want to save face, quote unquote. People approached me 4 days ago saying, "Sir, Iran wants to open up the strait immediately. But if we do that, there can never be a deal with Iran unless we blow up the rest of their country, their leaders included." President Donald J. Jackass Trump. Not the president, not my president. Son of a bitch, dude. How is Iran to know who's in charge? When the leader of the free world is saying this, and then trying to send negotiators in who are saying another thing, it's like, meantime, they're still amassing forces off your coast. It's like, hello? Yeah, you're sending mixed messages. Now no one trusts you. Don't think you understand how this works, bro. Yeah. All right, let's watch some of this shit.
Her staying on that.
Get to see the smoking man here.
That message has enraged him to the point where he sort of excommunicates her.
And forgive me, there's a little bit of difficulty hearing you through my my audio here, but there is a tension and a contradiction here. I mean, Donald Trump ran on a platform, if I understood your question correctly, he ran on a platform that's very different than the one that he is engaging right now in terms of isolationism, in terms of effectively saying, I'm going to make sure the economy is strong. I'm not going to meddle in foreign wars. I'm not going to mind anyone else's business. And I'm going to make sure that the country is back on a stable ground as opposed to what happened with Joe Biden. That was his argument. I think people like Marjorie Taylor Greene bought into that. They believed in that. And now they're seeing him veer from his course. And like any cult leader, when they change course, the expectation is not that you have to reconcile that by leaving the cult. It's that you change your ideology. And that's what's happening right now. But I think the bridge that was too far for many people who identify as believers, people of faith, particularly Christians and Catholics specifically, is not just the contretemps with the Pope, but this Jesus image. I mean, there's just no way that you can look me straight in the face, Donald Trump, and say that you weren't engaging in what a Christian would reasonably determine as blasphemous behavior. And instead of just saying, hey, I went too far, I made a mistake, he doubles down, gaslights us, and insults our intelligence by telling us that he thought that he was being a doctor. And in doing that, again, it seems like he's veering off the rails.
Yeah, Andrew Wilson, welcome to you, back to Uncensored. Always great to have you. A lot of our top comments on YouTube during this war with Iran have been, where is Andrew Wilson? So I'm glad we can allay any concerns about your whereabouts. You're here. What do you make of this war? I mean,
I mean, where else should I be, right?
Well, exactly. What is your view of this war? We're 6 weeks in. From where I'm looking, most of the things that we were told were likely to happen haven't happened. There's been no regime change. The people haven't risen up for a variety of reasons. And the Iranians have worked out that if you shut the Strait of Hormuz, you can pretty well cripple the...
They're like, they killed 40,000 of their own people who were protesting, supposedly. And they're like, go out in the streets and protest and take over your country. What? Do you think if they killed 40,000 Americans that they would be in the streets protesting? And there's only 90 million people in Iran, so 40,000 people is a lot of people compared to like 40,000 here in America. Can you imagine if 2 people died? No one would be in the streets. What?
Global economy when it comes to energy, and by attacking the neighboring Gulf states, you can cripple their business model around tourism and entertainment and sport and so on.
Hell no, bro.
I'm struggling to see any real victory here, although I accept the Americans and Israeli military have been pounding away in Iran and probably very successfully at the Iranian military. But there's kind of an asymmetric war going on here where you could argue Iran is winning the other side of this. What's your view?
Yeah.
Well, so we're not very far into this conflict. Trump doesn't have the Bush model. So the Bush model of nation building and Bush doctrine is not the Trump model. He's been very clear that he wants to get in and out of this place.
Dude, there was never nation building. You're delusional if you think that, if you bought that lie. You're an idiot.
Quickly as you possibly can, and they're already moving into talks of peace and this kind of thing and opening up the Straits of Hormuz. So I don't think that this will be a long-term military action. I don't think it was ever designed to be a long-term military action. That Trump's never had any interest in those before. I don't see why he would have an interest in one now.
Right, but if it ends with the regime still in place, with the Ayatollah's son as the new supreme leader, albeit he's obviously been badly wounded, but appears to be alive and has already been announced as a new supreme leader. The IRGC remain the controlling kind of military arm of the regime's leadership, and then you have the enriched uranium remaining underground but still in Iranian control, and Iran insists as part of any peace deal that they have a form of control over the Strait of Hormuz. How is any of that a win for America, particularly for a president who said we want regime change, we want total surrender, they're never going to build a nuke and all these things? If there's no guarantee of any of that, how is that a win?
Well, it wouldn't be, but they walked away from the peace talks saying that they're not going to accept those conditions from Iran. So they literally said we're not going to accept those conditionals. They're not allowed to enrich uranium. And they walked away from them. So I don't think that that this is done until the Iranians capitulate. And you also can't trust Iranian state media. They lie constantly. Their state media lies on X constantly. So we don't actually know just yet what sort of deal is going to come out of this. Right now, everybody's panicking, liars, but there may be no reason to panic. You might want to just take a step back and see what happens before you rush to a take here.
As a committed Christian...
There's absolutely reason to panic, though.
Yeah. No, there's no reason to panic, Mark.
I mean, we've...
What are you panicking? What are you...
in flag-draped coffins at this point. But that's okay. Don't worry about the 13 people, the 13 heroes that we sent back in coffins.
Was Trump over there killing too many pedophiles for you? Is it upsetting that he killed the Ayatollah Khomeini who married a 15-year-old?
You want to talk about Trump and pedophiles?
Yeah,
I don't really think you want to talk about Trump and pedophiles.
I do want to get into
that's the door you want to open.
I do, yes. Let's
You'd open that door.
You want to get into Epstein.
Trump's
you guys,
outrage about
hang on. You
Did
guys
you hear
are
Marjorie
constantly
Taylor
saying,
Greene? Look.
You guys are constantly saying that Trump is covering for pedophiles. He's killing them, overwhelmingly
Piers.
killing them.
Piers, can I just say that your interview with Marjorie Taylor Greene
Yeah,
was
hang on.
excellent?
Don't all talk at once. Jojo, yeah.
Yeah, no, look, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I agreed with everything Marjorie Taylor Greene for the most part said, and that was a great interview that you had with her. And something Marjorie Taylor Greene said was that Donald Trump ended his relationship with her.
You're not subjectively my enemy, but what you are promoting will lead to the disappearance of my people and my culture. And I will tell you this, it annoys me tremendously when I'm told by some immigrant or a child of immigrants that the only reason my country is worthwhile is because people like them have come here. It's as if to say, my ancestors built a dung heap, and I don't doubt your goodwill, but your goodwill is objectively going to lead to the oblivion of my people. I'm sorry, there is no other way to see it.
Loser time.
My name is Dia Khan. I'm an activist and filmmaker. When I was 6 years old, my father took me to my first rally against racism and fascism.
Let's go.
I grew up in Norway, where white skinhead gangs terrorized our small Muslim community. My father told us things would change, but extremism and racism are on the rise again in Europe and America. I decided to meet people who think the white race is under threat and that I am their enemy.
Wow.
Fuck you! Get a heart attack, nigger!
I met neo-Nazis.
Damn.
Jews and homosexuals, they should be exterminated, every single one of them.
History will decide who is superior.
Men who say they've lived lives of racist violence.
Nigger, prepare to burn. You've attacked our people, and now it's your turn. I've hurt people horrifically with my bare hands.
I've been to prison. I've kidnapped people. I've harmed people. I've done things that you would think I'm insane.
And I sat down with the new leaders of the white nationalist movement, men from privileged and elite backgrounds.
We did it. We took it. We took it with force. We won.
Shame! Shame on all of you! Shame!
I joined the extremists on the front lines of the race wars in America. I wanted to see if I could understand their anger, to get to know the personal reasons why they are drawn to such hatred and division.
Fuck you!
Why would you do this to yourself?
In the summer of 2016, the BBC interviewed me about living in a multicultural society.
The fact of the matter is, the UK is never going to be white again. Similarly, our parents who have left Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, Muslim countries, for them to think that they can re-establish those countries and the lives that they had there over here, it's not going to happen. We're together going to have to find out what does it mean to build a society that includes all of us.
To my shock, this interview went viral, and I received a deluge of hate emails from people across Europe and America.
Wow. Wow, I can't even say these things that they're reading.
But I've decided not to hide. I've decided to try to meet the kind of people who sent me this abuse.
Let's go.
I want to try to get behind the hatred and the extremist ideology, to find out what they are really like as human beings.
Pieces of shit is what
I'm starting in Charlottesville, Virginia. It's a quiet town, which in the weeks ahead will find itself at the center of America's growing racial tensions. The Ku Klux Klan have received permission to march in protest at the removal of Confederate statues. Waiting for them are other protesters.
Back away! Back away!
I want to talk to the KKK, but I can't get close to them. I do talk to the counter-protesters.
This is the result of what happens when you put an idiot in the White House. One thing is going to take people being willing to sit down and listen to each other, to actually have a meaningful dialogue and dialect with each other. There are some people that you just can't reach, and I accept that and I understand that. But those who you can have a possibility of saving, you have to at least try. There may be some glimmer of hope. I don't know where it is, but I know that we've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, right.
The
It ain't
rally
there.
finishes, but more far-right protests are expected at Charlottesville in the months to come.
Losers.
A week later, an important far-right leader has agreed to meet me. Jeff Scoop leads the biggest neo-Nazi organization in America.
Cultural invasion from Mexico and every other third world cesspool that's coming here to try to overrun our borders.
The National Socialist Movement reveres Hitler, and until recently, their symbol was the swastika.
Wow.
For the first time ever in my life, I am about to meet a neo-Nazi.
Hello. Nice to meet you. Good to meet you, Jeff. Well, I didn't bring any tax. That's the thing. So I just assumed. I guess you guys are happy. I mean, you don't have to use it. It's just it's your film, so it's like.
Well, I'm Jeff Scoop, commander of the National Socialist Movement. You know, we're a white civil rights organization here in America. We're white nationalists.
They got rid of this
just
swastika.
as Martin Luther King did for the blacks. You know, our mission is pretty much the same.
Oh.
We feel that the white race in general, in fact, Western civilization in general, is under a full assault. A lot of statistics are saying that the whites are going to be a minority here in this country.
Then.
Our stance has been that we'd like a homeland of our own for white people.
He says his movement is growing. Partly, he says, because of Donald Trump.
Rhodesia, we need
A lot of the
Rhodesia
things that he was saying,
2.0,
build a
folks.
wall, stop illegal immigration, bring back American jobs. So he was saying things that could have been
Some
right,
would say
a lot
it
of
was the
things that were right
best.
out our playbook that
Rhodesia.
we've been saying for years.
Some
We've
called it
been
Zimbabwe,
kind of on the
I
fringes
call
for a
it
long time,
Rhodesia.
and with our talking points finally appearing in the White House, nationalism has become more mainstream.
Jeff hates the idea of multiculturalism. He thinks it's part of a plot against the white race.
I think it goes back to the Zionists and the Jews. Jews control all the media, and they're pushing this agenda that we should all mix together, and I think it's to dumb down the population and to be make us easier to control.
But what if you're wrong? Do you ever question yourself and think, what if all of this that I'm doing and all of this that I think, what if it's wrong?
That doesn't really come into play very often in my head. I really haven't questioned if I'm doing the wrong thing.
I read somewhere that you read Mein Kampf at the age of like 13, very, very young. What would attract a teenager to
what attracted you?
the ideology of Mein Kampf? Do you remember, what kind of feelings you had?
Sneaky motherfucker.
This is a long time ago.
But it's an important point in your life. I mean, it set the course for you sitting here today.
My mind is wandering right now. Like, I think I'm kind of getting burnt out on the questions or something.
I ask if I can read him the threatening emails I received.
Hey, swamp nigger, you're going back. Get out of Whitey world, you leeching slag, shit-skinned cunt. What does shit-skinned mean?
Just what it says, I guess.
Your fellow travelers, would they call me a mud person?
Some might say that.
Yeah? This vicious little creature must be crushed beneath our boots until nothing remains. Would you condemn it?
A mud creature.
It's easier said than done. I discourage any illegal activity, which would include making threats to people. I understand people's anger. I understand where it's coming from.
Really?
When people feel that they're
You didn't
being
condemn that.
genocided and that their
Disgusting.
whole world is changing around them, I understand why people have those reactions.
Jeff says I can come and film with them at their next event.
Or would I be safe just walking up as a shit skin?
Why do you keep saying that?
Fucking
You don't like it? You don't like me saying that? No?
Then why'd you say it? God, he is conflicted.
I join Jeff at their next event. They're taking part in the biggest far-right rally in recent years.
Yeah, I don't think he's
and
ever
it's going
met
to be back
anyone
in
who isn't
Charlottesville.
The 14 words is we must secure the existence of our race and a future for white children.
And 88,
HH,
which stands for?
Heil Hitler.
This is America. We still got freedom of speech.
That's right. That's right. This is our PR director, Brian Culpepper.
Oh,
Hello,
I bet he
it's
is.
me, I'm Dia.
I'll bet that's the first thing he says, little piece of shit.
The NSM is trying to soften its image and appeal to a wider public. So they're removing the swastikas from their shields.
It's part of trying to bring the party's image into a more mainstream image for the new millennium.
Far-right groups from all over the country are converging for the event. I'm the only outsider who the NSM have allowed to accompany them
Trying
here.
to soften our image so we don't look like
Greatest
actual
assemblage
Nazis.
of white identitarians I've personally ever seen.
We are the forces of light and civilization, and we are fighting against the forces of darkness.
We're about a mile away from the park where the event is scheduled to happen. To get there, they're going to
Actually
walk the gauntlet of angry locals and anti-fascist protesters.
Let's go. Antifa. It's Antifa. They're practicing. Shame. Shame. Shame.
Some anti-fascist protesters, the so-called Antifa, use pepper spray against the marchers, including me.
You get hit with something or mace? You got mace? Okay, you got water and stuff, right? What could be better than a little pepper spray in the morning?
30 yards away from us, open violence breaks out between the far right and counter-protesters. A state of emergency is declared, and the entire protest is cleared.
Immediately, you will be arrested.
Okay.
You too.
Okay.
You too.
Knock your ass off. I won't get off of you. Yeah, you think so, bitch.
Knock your ass out.
Fuck you. Get a heart attack, nigger.
Oh my God. God, dude. People exist.
I knocked the guy out, yeah. Well, he pushed me, so I hit him with Thor's hammer here.
What did they do?
He shoved me. Yeah.
It was declared an illegal assembly by the Commonwealth of Virginia, and they ordered us to disperse. They're run by Jews.
My voice are gone because I was shouting in jubilation for, our rights and protecting our civil rights, and how proud I am that everyone showed up today and how brave they are.
While they celebrate, a mile away from us, this happens.
Oh, shit! Forgot about that. Oh, shit.
Anti-racist protester Heather Heyer is killed by a car driven by a far-right protester. The brutal killing of Heather and the extreme violence of the protest means Charlottesville makes headlines around the world. It's a few weeks after the rally. I've traveled to Detroit to meet Jeff in his home city.
Hey. Hello. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
In the aftermath of Charlottesville, President Trump has made a statement saying there were very fine people on both sides of the protests.
I never said that.
I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it, and you don't have any doubt about it either. And if you...
It's caused a political storm, but energized the neo-Nazis. The president did finally condemn white supremacists. But Jeff tells me that Trump's political rhetoric addresses the same economic and social anxieties of white people as the far right.
Donald Trump was elected because, in this country, because of some of the things that he was saying. It was those nationalist points that got him elected. My generation is the first generation that had it worse off than our parents before us. And here you're going to see some of the
that's because
urban
you're
decay.
white.
And why do you want me to see this specific area?
I mean, look around.
Black folk have had it great.
It's sad.
Sure.
It's definitely a sad sight.
You're a sad sight, sir.
So, like, you notice in this area, you've got all these abandoned buildings. It's sort of like a ghost town.
Why did you move to Detroit?
Perfect recruitment grounds for the NSM. Anytime you're in an area where the economy is suffering, it's somewhere that our message resonates with the people. So Detroit is an excellent city for us to be in.
Jeff says many of his followers think jobs are going abroad or are being taken by immigrants. Others are former soldiers who feel forgotten and abandoned by the country they've served.
Wow.
At my last meeting with Jeff, I decide to show him something. It's a photo of me with my father, taken at an anti-extremism rally when I was 6 years old.
Oh.
So that's my dad.
Oh, wow.
And that's me. People who represent what you represent made a 6-year-old child feel hated and unwanted and unwelcome and ugly. The movement that you are a part of has this type of real-life effect on people like me. How does it make you feel?
Uncomfortable. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't think anybody should have to feel like that. What we stand for, what we believe, is not about oppressing anybody. It's not about hurting anybody.
Dude.
I don't like hearing that sort of thing.
Unless that's all the movement is. Unless skin color is all that matters. And maybe all the politics and all the social and economic issues are actually just window dressing to be a racist.
Right.
That's not true.
So the issues are more important than the skin color.
I think so, but
You think
we are
so?
we are still a whites-only organization. You're not going to convince me different. Wow.
Huh? What happened? Did he cry?
I'm in the mountains of Tennessee.
He does have a fucking heart.
I'm filming with the biggest neo-Nazi organization in America,
He does have
the National Socialist Movement. This is a training session at the home of their public relations director, Brian Culpepper.
We are training defensive techniques for our people in the case of Antifa or leftist attack.
Yeah, right. Antifa would only attack you if you attacked us.
Family and our community, and we just want to be left alone.
They better be prepared for a fight.
A very violent, bloody one.
Do you think there's going to be a race war?
As far as I'm concerned, it started already. Charlottesville was probably the spearheaded battle.
You feel that?
I do. I think they're testing us to see what we have. How many of us? How willing we are to march in through the valley of potential death.
This is Mike Schleyer. He's a former military contractor and is their longest-serving member.
Wow.
I've had my share of trials and tribulations throughout my life that I have overcome and conquered, you know, as far as my own inner demons go.
What kind of inner demons do you have?
Just past experiences, being over there in Iraq for a couple of years, it's taken a toll on me. Seeing the mortars coming down and people getting blown up and dismembered and screaming for help, and then seeing the destruction that they cause. You know, I still wake up in the middle of the night, cold sweats, shaking, thinking I'm still over there. But I still carry it with me.
He's willing to die for his cause, but I'm willing to die.
You ever think you're maybe not right in the head?
The day ends with Brian practicing taking a face full of pepper spray.
Up yours, Antifa. Fuck you. Stop. You know what you got?
That is it.
That's good. That's good.
He's done.
Let's go, man up. Let's go, soldier. Ooh, fuck Antifa. Ooh!
Wash your face. He's got to get it out of his face.
Don't rub it.
Don't rub it.
Don't rub. Don't rub.
Dumbass.
Hide it.
You need the more water. Hey, somebody.
Chemical warfare,
Go
bro.
get the water.
Dude, he took it straight to the face. What a dumbass.
Feels like ass.
I live for this shit.
Yeah.
That was gnarly.
Yeah.
That was gnarly.
You can see it? The shower.
Yeah, let me get this off of me real quick, and let's get the grill going, and let's have some fun.
There you go. Woo. Oh, wait, you
Since I met him at Charlottesville, I've come to know Brian quite well.
Going that way, or you're gonna regret that.
He's dedicated to the idea of creating a white ethno-state. And that would mean deporting non-white people like me. So I ask him, would he actually go through with it?
Honestly.
Honestly? Now, I wouldn't want to see you get drug out, you know, and drug out and hauled off. I would not, dear. I consider you a friend at this point.
See?
And I personally would hate to see you go.
So what would you do?
Consider you a friend. Doesn't matter.
You grew up here in the West. You know, you grew up in the West. And you, honestly, I would never want to see you be hurt.
But?
What I would be doing, Dia, is ensuring the preservation of our race, my race, and my nation.
Race.
That's what it comes down to, and that's the only way forward. Then I would have to make sure that everyone that was ordered to do so would have to leave.
Including me?
Including you.
No shit.
The Islamic terrorists accepting third world refugees who rape our women, Mexicans flood our land and suck up our benefits. The list goes on, and I don't have all day.
This is Ken Parker, one of the more recent recruits to the NSM.
We will stop at nothing. White power! White power!
He's been a member of the White Power movement for many years, and previously was a Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan.
What a shit stain.
You too. Okay.
I met him when I was filming at Charlottesville, before the rally descended into chaos and
Bro
violence.
is such a shit stain that he wasn't even born
Ken
from a
is
pussy. His mom shit and then wiped, and that was him. That's how he was born. That's how much of a shit stain this piece of shit is.
Exactly the kind of person I've always been afraid of. But now I'm going to spend time with him at his home in Florida, which he
Why?
shares with his girlfriend Crystal.
What? He has a girlfriend?
So that's the clan?
Yeah, this is a clan tattoo.
Motherfucker's
I'm not
proud.
racist. I don't hate anybody. Well, I guess in that sense, like, because I absolutely despise Jews. So, yes, I'm a racist. Jews and homosexuals. I think they should be exterminated, every single one of them.
Ken is now a
fucking
political science
insane.
student,
He's literally a
but
fucking
previously spent
psychopath.
years serving in the Navy. He says he left because he didn't agree with allowing homosexuals to serve in the armed forces.
Fuck you, bitch.
Tonight, he's making hundreds of flyers with swastikas and anti-Jewish slogans.
I've already hit a few Jewish neighborhoods. I've thrown out flyers denouncing Syrian refugees coming over here in the Muslim neighborhoods at the mosque. And it stirs up a lot of hate and discontent. Take America back from the Jews. And it's Yom Kippur. And we're going to the Jewish towns.
It's so funny.
Should even get the synagogue, too.
But wouldn't you perceive that as a threat?
No.
Would you perceive that as something hateful or potential warning?
No, it's free speech.
I mean, yeah, hateful, yes, but
still
I
free
wouldn't lose
speech.
any sleep over it.
Is there anything I could say that would make you change your mind?
No.
Doesn't influence
You
anyone.
understand that if I include what you're doing tonight, you understand how that makes you look?
It's all right. I don't consider myself a bad person.
But you're doing something bad now.
I don't think this is bad. And these are all Jewish communities, and they all have walls built around them. That's the synagogue.
Yeah, not a racist. Not at all.
Ken has been looking forward to tonight, but the more I talk to him, the more agitated and anxious he seems to get.
Oh, yeah.
Does it matter to you that I think what you're doing is wrong?
No.
Do you know why I think it's wrong?
Yeah,
Can you tell me?
because I'm gonna hurt the feelings of thin-skinned individuals that can't realize the fact that it's just a piece of paper. Well, there's a lot of people that thought us going to Charlottesville was evil too, but that didn't stop us. I can't control feelings, like I said earlier, so if...
You can control it by not doing this.
Yeah, I guess I could, but I choose not to.
What a turd. Like I said, shit stain. Shit stain.
I find Ken's actions extremely disturbing. But I want to try to get behind the hateful behavior of these men to see if there is more to them. So I spend more time with Ken.
Supplies, be careful you don't crack that.
He tells me he grew up in a devout Christian community, and I'm the first person of Muslim background he's ever spent time with.
I knew
He
it.
starts to tell me about his life.
This is a scrapbook my mom put together for me, and I guess this is maybe one of the very first pictures of me.
You look so sweet.
Yeah, maybe back then I was. There's me at a violin recital. Graduation picture. I didn't even want to go to my own graduation.
Why?
Because I didn't want to wear a dress.
Is your mom proud of you?
Yeah, she's proud of my military experience and what I'm doing in school. She's not
You don't want to wear
necessarily
a
proud of what
dress
I'm
to
doing
graduation.
I decided to share some
No
of
one
my
asked you to
own
wear a
experiences
dress,
with
you
him.
fucking
So I show
bigot.
him the interview I gave to the BBC.
To build a society that includes all of us, where it means looking like me and looking like you. Made an example.
And I read him some of the racist emails I got as a result.
Save a life and bin that knife into her chest. This sour cunt should be gassed. Fuck off, bitch. Nazi Germany did it. When I'm not here and you speak to your friends about me, would you use some of these words about me?
No.
Would you call me a sand nigger?
Maybe if I'm drunk.
And if I told you that you calling me those words hurts my heart?
I'll do my very best not to use them.
Yeah?
Yes.
Because?
Because I respect you and I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Fuck. They're all the
Why are you
same.
nice to me?
You've been completely respectful to me. I actually consider you to be a friend.
See?
You know, my
Holy
opinion
shit.
about Muslims since I've been interacting with you has
the
gone
same
up
fucking
significantly.
excuse.
Besides asking me questions that, you know, kind of got under my skin a little bit. Don't do the flyers, blah, blah, blah. Don't throw them out in a Jew neighborhood. Don't use the Jew flyers with the swastika. You're gonna hurt people's feelings. It comes down to when my girlfriend was in the hospital for a month, and the only one that called to see how she was doing was a woman from the mosque.
Yeah,
I was
because
like,
you're a
"Holy
fucking
shit, I can't believe
racist."
that here these people that I fucking hate are checking up on her.
And what do you think that is going to change in you?
Actually, no, I don't think I'm gonna mess with the mosque anymore. Trust me, I have thought about getting pigs' heads and scattering them around mosques and stuff like that, but I haven't. The worst I've done is bacon. But I'm done messing with those people. You know, if you called me up and say, hey, I need help moving, or hey, I got a flat tire, would you mind helping me out? You know, I would do that. Friendship, it makes people feel good, honestly. I mean, somebody that you can talk to, have discussions with, even if you don't agree with each other. You know, it's nice to have friends.
Do you think that he's betraying his people and his cause by becoming friends with somebody like me?
No, it's good he's changing his views. His mom will be happy. He's realizing that not everybody's bad. I mean, there is some good people out there that aren't white.
You don't think that other Nazis will watch this and go, what's he doing?
I don't give a shit.
How can he say he's friends with that shit skin?
I don't give a shit if they say that or not.
You can be friends with whoever you want to be with. There's not a problem with that.
I will never break bread with a Jew, though.
Had to go and say something, didn't you?
Oh, I don't want this to turn into something like, oh, well, this big badass Nazi is this little teddy bear.
But he is.
Yeah, but I would never break bread with a Jew, ever.
So maybe that should be part 2 of this film.
What, send a Jew over here?
Yeah.
No.
A couple of months after I left Ken, I got an email from Crystal. She said Ken had posted this picture of himself onto his student Facebook page.
Fuck.
Ethnic minority students had seen it as a threat, and he'd been banned from the campus of the University of North Florida.
It's pretty threatening to me.
Until now, I'd been filming with men from working-class backgrounds. But in recent years, a new kind of white nationalist has emerged. People who present a very different image.
Billionaires.
They're often known as the alt-right. Their leaders are from privileged elite backgrounds, such as Richard Spencer, born into a family of wealthy landowners.
We are fighting to be powerful again in a sea of weakness.
Spencer says he's not a racist, but opposes multiculturalism and wants to bring about a white ethno-state.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
Hail Trump.
He's invited me to his apartment in the most expensive part of Alexandria, Virginia. He's hanging out with his followers.
I don't think I've ever done a video where I'm not wearing a collared shirt. Yeah. But in terms of formal wear, I like things that are striking, high quality, well made. No.
And then he saw me wear it.
Yeah.
He's
It was like, oh, it's dead.
Oh, the proles.
Get
the
out.
proles are doing it now.
Yeah. Get out quick. Get some wild turkey. Get an actual whiskey glass, you idiot.
Oh.
Okay, fine.
I'm not going to teach you one small ideology.
Yeah,
one
so
very narrow.
you got the working class Nazi, and now you got the privileged.
As a natural leader, I have certain obligations and duties that other people don't.
Why are you someone who should lead?
I think that's obvious. But why do I need to even talk about it?
He's white.
Say it. Tell me
Because
why.
I'm better. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something.
Go on.
All right. Elites rule the world. Elites make history. The question is who? Who is in charge? That's what matters. People like me need to be in charge. We determine the course of world history in ways that other races can't even dream of doing.
Right. And part of your greatness is the exploitation of other people. Part of what's made this country great.
We did it. We took it. We took it with force. We won. We took the entire continent. That's what matters.
We cross. There we go.
Outside his apartment, protesters have gathered to hold a vigil for Heather Heyer, the woman who was killed at Charlottesville.
Good to see you. You guys just stare at me in a dead, kind of eyed way. God, these people are pathetic. Like, do you know how, like, dumb this is? You think you people intimidate me. We shall over...
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
I agree.
You should live that long. Seriously, you guys are
I go to see another leader who's closely associated with Richard Spencer in the alt-right. Jared Taylor also denies being a racist and says the white race is under threat. I ask him how he thinks multiculturalism could work.
That's like saying, how can we make alcoholism and insanity work? How can we make cholera work? How can we make AIDS work? How can we make something that is inherently unstable and will eventually result in my extinction? Why would I even think in terms of making it work when it's clear it is not working and it would require a fundamental change in human nature for it to work?
How dare you, ma'am, suggest?
I'd come to America because I wanted to know the deeper, more personal reasons why people are drawn to this kind of ideology.
She's not even American.
At Charlottesville, I filmed alongside many young people who seemed to be embracing the cause, like this young man.
My face is my livelihood. Thank you so much for coming.
After I met him, footage of him at Charlottesville went viral.
White male. Most privileged class.
And he was identified publicly by opponents of the far right. His name is Peter Teft.
Yep.
He lives in a working-class district of Fargo, North Dakota, and works as a carpenter. He tells me he's not a racist, and says he's a white civil rights activist. I ask him about his childhood.
I was largely a, I felt like a ghost at the school. Like a nerd or a freak or something. I might have had, body dysmorphia. I felt like I was either too big or too fat. A lot of the way people think and act doesn't happen in a vacuum. And I guess maybe there was a part of me that wanted everyone to like me.
And did they?
No. Nope.
No, why would they like you?
No. Between the age of 23 to 25, I'd just get really depressed. I saw so much wrong with the world, and...
Like what? Like what bothered you most?
I guess looking back, what bothered me the most was,
heavy rounds if you need them, bro.
I don't know, I guess myself. You know, it makes a guy rethink things, and then, you know, when you start realizing and examining stuff, and all of a sudden you realize, hey, maybe like these Christians or these right-wingers, or at least people that have some semblance of trying to be greater. I do feel, you know, a certain duty to act heroically.
Oh, really?
And this movement provides you with the platform to be heroic.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it does kind of feel like I'm in like a league with like superheroes. These guys, I mean, they're so smart. You know, like I feel like I'm the Green Lantern and they're my watchers.
Okay,
you know,
goofball.
there's guys at church that,
You're a weirdo.
you know, pat me on the back and say, way to be a warrior for Christ.
Oh, disgusting. Why is that a warrior for Christ?
I've traveled to America because I'm trying to understand the mentality of people who join far-right movements. I've decided to go back in time to meet one of the most violent racist skinhead leaders of the previous generation. This is Arno Michaelis. In the 1990s, he was the leader of a highly influential racist skinhead band called Centurion.
Disgusting, dude. Not even good, dude.
These are my lyrics. I wrote these.
They're not good. Don't be proud of it.
Nigger, prepare to burn. You've attacked our people, and now it's your
I
turn.
would say, yeah, he's not proud, is he?
The chorus ends with, we'll drown the mud, as in mud race, as in people who aren't white, in an ocean of blood. And there literally was an ocean of blood in the over the 7 years for like how many people we beat up and how many people we hurt.
Nice.
And who knows how many people have been beat up and hurt since then because of this song.
Looks like he's redeemed himself.
Centurion was an audio incitement to violence.
Arno was a founding member of the Northern Hammerskins, one of the most notorious skinhead gangs in America.
So we're in River West now, and we spent
The
months,
Hammerskins.
like just rampaging through the city, attacking anybody we could find, anybody. But if we could find a black person or a Latino person, they were fair game.
You. So disgusting, dude.
I've hurt people horrifically with my bare hands. I've beaten people until I thought they were dead and I left them in a bloody mess. Over and over again. We beat up people that made us feel better about ourselves. It made us feel like we were powerful, like we were important, like we were warriors, we were dominant. I was a fucked up kid with no empathy for other people, like manipulating people. I was like, you were a sociopath, man.
Yep.
Arno spent 7 years in the movement, but after his daughter was born, he started to distance himself from the hatred and violence.
I'm ashamed of all the kids I've led astray. I preyed upon their trauma and their suffering to manipulate them, to hate people and to hurt people. Till the day I die, I'll be ashamed of that.
Pretty clear-headed about what he did. That's good, at least.
This is Frank Mink.
That is something, right?
He was recruited into a skinhead gang at the age of 14.
Speaking of kids.
He told me he had grown up in Philadelphia in a violent and deeply impoverished household.
My mom's husband, he hated me.
And he was a drunk and drug addict who beat the shit out of me all the time. A 36-year-old man used to beat me like another guy would beat another guy in a bar fight, and I'm 11 years old. Every day, my goal was to get hit by a car. I wanted to get hit by a car before I made it home. And I would walk home more dejected and just felt more like a loser than I ever, and then I had to go home and face my stepfather, who was gonna tell me how much of a fucking loser I was.
Of course you would.
Or he'd beat the shit out of me.
In his early teens, practically abandoned by his family, he started hanging out with a racist skinhead gang.
Well, of course he did.
One night, he took part in an altercation between a skinhead and a man the gang had decided to intimidate.
And I seen it, and I absolutely loved it. Fear. He had fear in his face for us, and I love that. I'm a broken human being. I feared everything. I feared my parents. I feared my step-parents. I feared my school. I feared if I was gonna have enough food to eat today. And now someone fears me?
The same night, he joined the gang.
That's
it was the
intoxicating.
camaraderie, the being part of, the numbers, the safety. And in that time, we trained to be race war, we trained to shoot guns, and they basically tell me, after all this is all done, that God chose me to be one of the angels that ruined Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm now an angel for God. This is powerful. Like, I'm learning what the adults know now.
It's like a fucking cult.
Frank quickly rose through the ranks and became head of the Philadelphia chapter of the Strike Force Skinhead Gang.
I was a violent human being. I was the most evilest, fucking diabolical person you've ever met. To break it down, people like me were egomaniacs with no self-esteem. That's what makes us fucking violent.
Yep.
This is a movement which destroys lives. Hate crimes are on the rise across Europe and the US. I traveled to meet a man called Pardeep Singh. We meet at a Sikh temple in Oak Creek, Wisconsin.
There is a balding male with glasses, may have gone inside with a gun and there were shots fired.
In 2012, it was attacked by a racist skinhead called Wade Michael Page.
This is kind of where the shooting started out here. There was two brothers, they're both priests here. Wade Page encountered them out there and shot them both dead outside in the parking lot. These two ladies went to go pray. The shooter lets off a few rounds at one of the ladies, and he followed her to that corner and shot her from point blank range. This is one of the bullet holes that took it out from the bottom. So there was 3 people in here, and the priest. The head priest was in the bathroom at the time, so he found cover. But the other people were essentially just kind of sitting ducks and had nowhere to go. He shot the other gentleman 2 times in the stomach. The other man, who was shot twice in the stomach, ran out and ran this way, down the hallway. And then so Dad was left alone and with him. And then Dad suffered 5 gunshot wounds, all to the side of his body.
Oh. Ouch.
Wade Michael Page murdered 6 people, including Pardeep's father, before he turned his gun on himself.
Yeah. Fucking piece of shit.
He was a former Army veteran and played in an extremist white power band, just like Arno Michaelis. I asked Pardeep, what would he do if Wade Page was here today?
If he's sitting here, I would want you to leave me alone with him for, 10 minutes and really beat the shit out of him. But at the same time, I would want to understand why, because something is fueling it. I feel like for anybody who is willing to live this life of putting themselves through this miserable existence of isolation, of violence, of hatred, what is it that fuels you to do that?
After the murder, Pardeep did a remarkable thing. He reached out to a former neo-Nazi to search for answers. Arno Michaelis.
For me, why I reached out to Arno because I wanted an explanation. More important than that, I gained a brother, I gained a friend, and I gained someone that was gonna say, you know what, I'll not only tell you.
All right, Chad, I gotta go.